Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, back to talk more about The Boys. Sorry about the wait between episodes, but I had a lot of things going on for the rest of the channel, and now we're back to the schedule though. So we're on episode 5. It's called Good for the Soul. Full spoilers if you haven't seen this show. This is a tough one. Not like, it's good. It's really good, but I mean, for some people out there that like this show, this might have been the episode for some, let's call it sensitive viewers. Might have been like, okay, nope, because Jesus is my Lord and Savior, and this is like my favorite thing, and you just shit all over it. So yeah, you might people that don't know the source material, don't know Garth Ennis properties, don't know like the subject matter at all. They were enjoying the ride along the way, thinking, all right, this is some good old stuff, man. All right. Oh my God, did he just say that they just make fun of Jesus and God? Did he just call God a cunt? Yeah, he did. And so some people are probably going to have a problem with this episode. I don't have a problem with this episode. I love this episode. It's just, again, coming from a very strict religious background, I was involved in what I was in a cult, basically. I mean, depending on it, certain people will say I'm wrong about this, but my religion was a cult. And religious stuff in general is very hard for me to not just be blunt about my own feelings about religion. But this, Garth Ennis is clearly, whatever he's trying to say here is what I believe. Minus what Starlight says at the end about how she believes and stuff, just, like, whatever, I mean. But let's jump into this episode and we'll get to all that. So prepare yourself, folks, that if you're uncomfortable talking about religion, if you're just a stone cold believer, then you probably are going to not like this video, because I'm not going to be all of a sudden going, this show is wrong. This show should be telling you that Jesus saves and blah, blah, blah. Because that's just not me. And so I'm warning you right now, you should get out now and go watch somebody who hates this show review it. So we start with Havana, Cuba, Pop Clawed A-Train, where I never for a split second thought she was getting out of this. I didn't think so before. I don't think so now. He just had to take her far away because he's a fucking coward piece of shit. Bastard celebrity fucker. And this was all just a ploy to get her to finally tell him the truth about who knows about the Compound V. And she begrudgingly agrees because he had to go grand, because this is what they do. The big grand gesture that make you feel safe, all the while they're trying to figure out where to put your fucking body, or how to just kill you or make you disappear because you got in the way of the fame train. That's what they should call him, not A-Train. So he's talking, she finally tells him, right? And I just wrote, you're dead now. All right. And he gives her that story. I mean, this is all just, if you don't know what's coming, it's like they're telegraphing this really hard. The story about some people just order a salad and a water, and you went for the New York strip and the chocolate cheesecake and the dark beer. And I almost thought he was going to go for, like, he was going to rip her heart out before, like, and not literally, but, could have. Or he was going to call her like a gold digger, or like, I knew from this moment that this is the kind of person you were looking for, like, you were going to try to ride my fame or some crap. But he doesn't. He says he loves her. But again, he doesn't love her more than fame. And he zaps her with 4 syringes of heroin and gives her an overdose. And I was thinking his drug, she's addicted to the V. He's addicted to fame. And it's all just such a bunch of hypocritical bullshit. because fame and celebrity is king today. And that's another thing that I struggle with in this review, because I'm mocking people who, like the show, is shining a light on celebrity. Being a YouTube content creator, even though, like, look, I'm nobody, right? I have 906. I keep fluctuating between like 904, 908, 907, 906, 906, 904. You know, like whatever. I'm nothing. I'm a nobody. So, like, why do I do it? Is it because I want to be famous? And sometimes you go, like, I have to struggle with that, because really what I'm trying to do is share my knowledge of pop culture, movies, TV, games. But a part of me is like, oh, I like to see the numbers go up. I like to see the subscribers go up. But for me, it's more like it means that I'm reaching more people. And I'm trying to, whether you like me or not, entertain. But I'm not doing it for money, and I'm not, getting more numbers and stuff is just it gives you more confidence. It gives me more confidence, suffering a lot of anxiety and self-confidence problems. So at least I know, like, I'm not on the path that these people are on, and I hope to stay on that path. But these people are lost. These people gave it up a long time ago, and so many people. I mean, look at starting with reality television, with, like, Real World, and how from then and up till now, how many people are just willing to sell their bodies, sell their souls to the god of television and fame and bullshit that's so fleeting, because we all just, nobody, even myself included, nobody wants to be irrelevant. But apparently in this day and age, the only way to be relevant is to sell yourself out. And it's happening every day. You turn on the TV, you sit there and you watch fucking E! Channel, you watch The Bachelorette, fine, you know what I mean? Like, watch what you watch, but, like, don't pretend that, like, if you're watching it to laugh at people who are so desperate to be famous that they just will do anything, then that's fine, it's funny. Just don't perpetuate that. You know what I'm saying? And again, this is not going to be like a popular review probably, because people don't like to hear people, shine the mirror on themselves. And that's what this is doing. And so, I mean, this show, anybody that, I can see a lot of people not liking the show because they don't like seeing their own reflection in what the show is pointing out. And I know it's supposed to be entertaining, and it's supposed to be a comedy, and it's supposed to be, like, whatever, irreverent. But there's a message here. I mean, even I think it's funny that it's coming from, really famous people. That they themselves probably have their own egos, right? So, I mean, it's all, you got to just take it all with a grain of salt, I guess. But he kills her because he loves himself more than, than her and his love and the fame, like, he wants the fame. And he confesses to Homelander, I did it. I took care of it, heroin, they're just discussing murdering people to cover their own shit. Without even, it's the way it's so matter of fact. That we're all just, they're gods. And they're not coming out and saying it, but they believe that. And the only saving grace in this scene, and if you can call it that, is that A-Train's hugging Homelander, saying, I'll be watching over you. And it's supposed to, not 1 second do I feel like that is actually compassion. And A-Train knows it. It's all a threat. Everything out of this fucking psycho's mouth is a threat. And again, it's still just every time I keep wondering, why is he just not ruling the whole world? Like, why is he playing this game? Like, why is he following the rules? And I know I say this every time. It's just they keep compounding that fact. And I keep going, what do they have on him? And they still haven't revealed it. And that's the only thing that's bugging me, is we're not getting any answers to anything. It's just more of the same, like, bad. They're just bad. And we just keep seeing how much worse these people can be. Whether they feel guilty or not, it's just more of the same. And I want to see some sort of, I don't know, some sort of, like, resolution in something. Like somebody make a real move that can't come back from. Now I think the only person, the character that's only kind of done that is Deep, because his shit's now out there, and Starlight too. But they know that where they want him. Homelander tells A-Train to find the girl, and in this, like Frenchie, I gotta take a second here. Sorry about that. There was a phone ringing in the house and nobody was answering it, so it was driving me nuts. Anyway, so Frenchie is trying to make a connection with the female. They still haven't given her character a name. But she's, struggling still with it. I wish I could have eaten that food. But the crux of this episode takes place at the Believe Expo. Look, I don't have a problem with faith or people that need faith, people that are having a hard time, people that want to believe in something or whatever. Having faith in yourself, in other people, in your family, in your friends, in your wife, your husband, your kids, whatever, it's fine to me. I think that's fine. I think we need that. I think we need each other. I think we need to have faith in each other. My problem is I don't think we have to be on our knees looking up to some invisible force to save us all when it hasn't done so, like, ever. No matter how many weird things, if you have a story about, oh my God, I lifted a car off my kid, it must have been God, not adrenaline. Whatever gets you through the day, man. Whatever gets you through the day. But I think that that kind of faith is dangerous in a lot of ways, and not there's harmless faith, but then there's this stuff that's greedy and exploits people that are in need of help, and I just think that going beyond giving people a little faith, you're just lying to them. Because it's just, you're again, it's all for money. It's all for power. It's all for control. It's not about you. It doesn't matter. It's another form of fame. It's another form of just, we're all afraid to die. And, religion has started the whole thing about the tithes and getting into heaven and making people feel better about living their lives and dying because there's always some great reward if you're a good person. And faith isn't a bad thing, but predators like to exploit this. Predators like Ezekiel, who's like the fucking Reed Richards of this universe. So it's kind of funny that Reed Richards is one of the smartest characters in comics. And in this one, he's just a stupid sellout phony who, teaches that, being gay is a sin and you're going to hell. Meanwhile, of course, just like many Catholic, the Catholic priest scandals and stuff, he likes boys, he likes men, and he hides it. And, again, he's selling himself. He's been selling himself down the river for Lord fame and celebrity, except his fame and celebrity is like attached to people's religious beliefs in God. Oh boy, people are really gonna hate this episode review. I'm sorry. Don't be sheep is what I wrote down. Just don't be sheep. Think for yourself. If you've come to the conclusion that this and done it rationally, and this you still believe, fine. Just don't try to run other people, make other people go down that same route. Give them the options to think and feel the way they want. Because how does that historically work out? It doesn't. We get so mad at people in other countries because they do things in the name of their religion, but we do the same fucking thing here. We just don't like it when people do it to us. We're little crybabies about it. Oh boy, I really. Yeah, I said this fucking guy eats up and exploits the ignorant and pathetic But I don't really mean the. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I really feel pathetic is the right word, but I don't know. But you know, please, when they go over to the funeral for the people who died in the plane crash, I kept waiting, man. I want somebody to be alive from this plane crash. I do. But then at the same time, it's like they'll probably just kill him because that's just kind of how the show is. They'll probably just kill him because Homelander can't let anybody live. Um, and Maeve's guilt is stressing her out. And I'm just like, yeah, that's the world's smallest violin playing just for you, Maeve. You know, you went. I think it's fine that they're showing that some of these characters have remorse, but it's again, it's like the Handmaid's Tale, man. Like anybody that wants to redeem themselves at the soup at this point, fine, great, good, grand. Just as long as it services their own demise. Sacrifice for the greater good. Giving up the power and doing the right thing for once. But I don't think that that's the way it's going to go, because even though this is a work of fiction, I feel like none of these characters in the end will really sacrifice themselves. They might try, but Homelander will probably just kill them. And Homelander's like speech, you know, his praise is like even when he's praising her, it's disgusting. But I do like that she told him, you know, like, what did I tell you about boring speeches? Starlight's little round table with the religious kids is just gross. It just grosses me out. Because it just, you see the desperation on their faces of this. What are they looking for? They're young kids. They should not be worrying about this crap. Like, they look like they're afraid. Like if they make any wrong move, they're going to hell because their hormones and other things are telling them to do what's natural, what's human. Do you think people were worried about getting fucking married back in the old days to have kids? Do you think people waited to find somebody to marry them before they were able to have kids? No. It's the new modern institution that told us all to get fucking married and follow these these laws of man that are pretending to be laws of God, shaming people for being human. Nobody's telling you to like marry your fucking dog, okay? Things that just go against nature. But telling people to go against their own biological imperatives as far as like how to, you know, have kids and stuff is just fucking wrong. And religious people, like really religious people freak me the fuck out. They have my whole life, even when I was in a religion. When I got old enough to understand, it just started freaking me out really bad. And it was one of the reasons why I had to bail. But what freaks me out even more is really religious kids. They're creepy. They're like Damien. They're like the kid from Brightburn without superpowers, okay? They freak me out. And Starlight, you know, she just keeps towing the line. Like when the priest tells, or the preacher, or the pastor, or whatever the fuck he is, tells the kid, you know, about changing the Hindu person to save their soul. And she's looking at him like, dude, man, that's not what we should be presenting. And of course the one girl's like, have you ever had sex? And she sits there and she's like, well, that's private and blah, blah, blah. And she tries to say the right thing without telling her the truth. And, you know, she's towing that company line. And I've been there where you want to tell somebody, like at your job, like if a customer wants to know something and you know the answer, but you know that if you say the answer and it gets back to somebody above you in the company, say that customer, you know, after you tell them the truth about something, right? Or something that, you know, they don't really have to know, but they maybe should know, I don't know. You know that your ass is grass if somebody finds out. And so you either don't tell them or you tell them and pray that nobody finds out that you told. And that is something, you know, like even on that level, I can understand that. But I also feel like, I also go, oh God, like what have I done? Like even though it's not a big deal, like it might be telling somebody why something is on sale because the dates are bad or something like, are going to be bad. Like telling them that something that your boss wouldn't want, my boss wouldn't want me to say or something like that. It's just, but thankfully Billy in the next scene says God's a cunt, and that made me feel a lot better. I'm here all day, he says. I love that. We're just on the first freaking page still. Jesus. There's the guy, the joke. Everybody needs a you need a little religion in you, says Mother's Milk, and that's what Billy says. That's what the bishop said to the nun. Billy, man, he's got like no like, what do you call it? Like Eric Cartman has no filter. Yeah. We keep seeing Robin, and it's always at moments when he's like kind of at a crisis point with Starlight, when he's supposed to do something kind of shady. Not even kind of, shady. And in this case, he wants the Ezekiel tickets to get close to him so that he can blackmail him. But when he sees Robin, it reminds him again of why he's doing this, and returns to the plan to blackmail Ezekiel. And, she's starting to feel like when he asks for the tickets, you can see in her eyes that she's feeling like he's basically a starfucker. That he's not really there for her. Like he's just another person who wants to take something from her. Just like these people keep taking. But the thing is, it's like she's also walking down that road willingly, begrudgingly, but willingly. And it was getting a little thin, like wearing a little thin, the whole Starlight just chipping away at her soul. Like 5 episodes deep, I'm just like, oh my God, I know, I get it. And again, I kind of feel like that's the whole series so far, is just how like much further down are we going to go before we start going back up. And if that's not the point, I know that's not the point, but it's just like, it's starting to feel just like misery. Like it's funny, it's entertaining in a way, but it's just starting to just feel like, okay, I know. And again, people are probably not going to like that I said that, but oh well. I hate Homelander, but whenever that Ashley girl shows up and Homelander's there, I do really like that she's terrified of him, and you can see it on her face. Because that actress is really great at being with the crazy eyes. She's really good at it. It's not this isn't a diss, but like she's been kind of typecast as this type of character, this kind of wild-eyed kind of character, and so it's nice to see Homelander, even if I hate him, put her in her place. Like nobody's safe around this guy, even the people that are supposed to be. And he gets up there, and he's supposed to tell the corporate speech that Elizabeth Shue's Madeline wants him to tell, and he's fighting her on this. And again, it's like, I was thinking that, he's got this mother thing with her, and he sees the baby as like competition. And I even thought that the baby might be his. But I'm starting to think that it's not now. I think that that's her kid, and he's just jealous because that kid gets to be her baby, which I think by the end of this episode, in this sick way, is really was what he was looking for. And the reason I thought it was her kid is because I saw the trailer with the baby with the laser eyes. And I thought, oh, maybe they kidnapped the baby and the baby has superpowers and the baby would end up being his. But wow, am I wrong off about that. But he calls the baby an accessory. And again, you can kind of see how people do that. Especially famous people with the fucking dogs and the purses and shit. But I don't think it is for her. I think, but maybe for the story's sake, the baby's there to be an extra thing to be freaked out about, because Homelander could just kill that baby like in a second if he wanted to. We find out that Billy's wife has been missing for 8 years, and they're finally having they had a funeral for her. They put a headstone up, and there's nobody in the grave. And that's Billy's kind of motivation, is the not knowing what happened to his wife, knowing that the Supes are probably involved. But he not understanding that they needed to do this for themselves, that it's not just about him, because Billy makes everything about him and his own revenge, and that's his flaw. It's one of his flaws, is only seeing things from his perspective, being blinded to other people's pain, and using everybody else. So, I mean, in his own way, he's also, using people like the company and like the superheroes do, just for his own means. And anybody else think that Karl Urban, like, fuck Robert Pattinson, but, and no offense actually, come on, I shouldn't maybe not say fuck Robert Pattinson, but when I see Karl Urban with the black hair and everything, wouldn't he be a great Batman? Or like somebody's gonna be in the suit doing stunts, right? So you only have to be a good Bruce Wayne. You can be an okay Batman. They need you for close-ups and shit, right? You can do that for a long time. So I was thinking maybe he was too old, but I think Karl Urban would be a fucking great Batman. He's big, he's intimidating, he's handsome, he has that charm. He's got, he looks good with the black hair. I think they really need to reconsider this. So Warner Brothers, get Karl Urban in there for like a test on Batman, because I think Karl Urban Bruce Wayne would be fucking amazing. For a second there, I thought we had Billy Zane on the show, like for real. Like Billy Zane was going to be like a new character. But it's really a movie that A-Train's watching called Terminal Beauty 3, which makes it sounds like a Skinamax movie because Pop Claw's in that. And she seems like the kind of character that would reflect some of the actresses of the times, of any time, but, the ones that are like soap opera-ish actresses and stuff that don't mind, doing a little softcore porn because they're not going to be big stars. But Billy Zane's just an actor in one of these movies. And I was a little disappointed because I like Billy Zane. He's great for like if you want somebody that can choose scenery really well. But A-Train had a hidden camera, because of course he did. Of course he did. And, like a nanny cam. And he sees her kill the guy with her vagina. And the boy's coming in and he sees Frenchie. So they burn, Frenchie's burned now. They're on, and Black Noir and him are on the case to track down Frenchie. So things are looking pretty dire for them right now. And when Huey meets Homelander in the diamond, like you have to pay, like just like Wizard World that I'm going to. Like you can get in, but then there's different tiers of like what you get in, and it's all like, I'm going. Like, I feel like I'm almost one of those people. Like, I'm dressing up like Captain America and I'm going in there and I'm going to meet some famous people and stuff. And I'm doing it because I've never gotten to do this stuff in my whole life. And I know that I'm going to look ridiculous in my costume and everything. And maybe it's hero worship a little bit. But, I mean, I'm going to meet Kevin Conroy. I'm going to meet the Fonz. I'm going to meet Norm from Cheers. I'm taking my nephew to meet Zachary Levi, who we are going because he was in Chuck. So, I mean, I know that, like, we all have our own kind of hero worship and stuff. But it's in perspective. I have it in perspective. I know these are just people. I learned that when I went to C2E2. But, like, you go to these kind of things with this fucking guy. These people don't care about the fans. People that, like, and to varying degrees at these cons, neither do some of the celebrities. It's their way of being relevant still. But I don't mind taking advantage of that a little bit. And maybe that's on me, but it's on all of us. Because now that I've been to one, I know how many of us go. So it's on all of us. But I went gulp. Because Homelander's seeing a regular person and just immediately Homelander's like, oh, Starlight. How could this affect me? How could this nobody in front of me affect me? And it's all those possibilities running through his head. And I get that because I kind of think the same way. Like I try to think about different angles of situations and try to calculate the best odds of what a situation is going to be like depending on how I deal with the situation. And Homelander is just thinking of like, how could this nobody fuck me up? And he is just the most paranoid person. But when they said that when Huey finds out that he's going to get baptized, I was like, oh yeah, he's going to try to drown him, or he's going to at least hold him under a little longer because it's Homelander. And again, I don't like they write Huey in the most obviously guilty way. And you can say, oh well, it's because he's scared and stuff, and it's like, look, man. it's like what they say in Reservoir Dogs, where, you're in a situation, sometimes you just got to shit your pants and keep going. And just because any other way to do it, you're done. Anybody smells any fear, you just have to deal with it. And in this, they keep writing him as the go. Uh-oh, I was guilty. So of course Homelander holds him under the water a little bit too long. And I know from baptizing, I got baptized. You're down and out. You're not down and then out. So, but the other part about this is that because he was baptized, and because he was too stupid to take his phone out of his pocket, the video he was going to use to blackmail Ezekiel has now, like, basically been destroyed. So he has to improvise. And I do like his improvising because he just comes right, you fucked me. And uses very colorful language like you played my butt like jazz to get Mr. Stretchy, face to attack him. But once he says the video, he goes in there, are you here for money? But it's really all about the Compound V. They want to find out where it's going. And this guy, of course, is afraid because, all these people know too much. Anybody that, one domino falls and they're all going to fall. It could all potentially just go away. And it appears to work. He gives them the information. He tells them to stop telling people to pray the gay away. And that's all we really get from this. Huey gets called the Rain Man of fucking people over, which is a pretty clever phrase from Mother's Milk. And Billy visits his wife's grave and smashes it. So we know really where he stands for sure. And Homelander, his speech, again, it's just like any politician up there, post 9/11, kind of, America was attacked and God wants me to kill the bastards, and just playing like it's like, it feels like a Trump speech. It feels like shit that they say to get to get the masses stirred up, and the people that the people that freak me out in this country. When they say the American thing to do, and this episode, that part just makes me sad because it's just, maybe America's always looked like this, but people have been hiding for so long with their. It made me think that there was actually hope that we were getting better as a country and that we weren't so scared and paranoid and racist and xenophobic. But it really is reflecting a lot of what's going on today with this presidency, with this culture that we have right now of rage culture and going after immigrants, and it's getting very, very sad to live in this country and be a sane person and not knowing what you can do about it. But anyway, Maeve visits Alayna, this girl that clearly they had something with, but probably couldn't anymore because if you want to be famous or something, you can't be openly gay, which again goes to like with the religious thing, and being a role model. And also, you got to remember when this book was written. I think it was like 2006 or 2007, so it's like, this was before Obama. Before people were, gays were able to get married. Gays, lesbians, whatever, Everybody should be able to get married, okay? But this was probably, I think, was out before it was, when it was still really, and it's still difficult. God, talking about all this stuff is like you're riding a fucking tightrope. But she can't go back, and I was like, oh, boo-hoo, it's too difficult for you because you let all those people die. You let all those people die. It's not just on Homelander. Yes, Homelander would have killed you with all of them, but honestly, you kind of maybe should have. But with her alive, maybe she can do something, which I doubt. I think Homelander's just going to punch her right in the chest, rip her heart out. But Frenchie lets them know that he's made. They're probably shortly going to be found out once he gets found out. And Billy just tells him to leave the girl there because it's just, again, that's how Billy Butcher operates. But he doesn't want to. And we finally get this moment with Starlight where she doesn't want to do the speech. She sees that this place is not the way it used to be, and I get that. This is not just her character saying this. It is a reflection of like a lot of people who, once believed in something and now sees how it's been tainted, kind of like the Seven. Might have been a good thing a long time ago, but Now it's the way it is now. And her mom, again, like even her mother isn't on the fame train. You're going to embarrass me in front of my friends and all this that I did for you. And she's just getting as much attention and fame for being the mother of a superhero. And it's just, again, it's just so disgusting. And I'm just getting so tired of it. I mean, I'm entertained in it, but again, I just, so Jesus, everybody wants, okay, yeah. Jesus, everybody wants to be famous in a desperate way. And it made me think of like what that guy was saying, like Ezekiel was saying, like, hey bro, like a frat guy. He looks like one of like a fucking one of those guys, right? This guy, oh my god. Hey bro, you don't need proof, man. You don't need proof. I even wrote it down. What did he say? He said, blah 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 blah. Where's the hey bro at? It's here somewhere. I wrote it down. Oh yeah, hey bro, bring it in. You shouldn't need proof. You should just believe because I say so. Because you have faith. Because you believe. It's just... wow. And so I basically wrote down, okay, this is it. This is Starlight selling her complete soul out. The Deep we do find out that everybody knows what the Deep did with the dolphin. And so he's sitting there freaking out. But finally, Starlight does the right thing, and she tells these people the truth, sort of, kind of. You know, Huey loves it. He's the only one who claps. But she says, like, I'm reading a teleprompter. This is my mom is up here. Everybody expects me to do this. You're all supposed to, like, not have sex before marriage. It's human to do this. And all these people. And I actually thought maybe she'd get a response because some of these people look concerned. But no, they're just sheep. They all just sit there going, like, what? Look, in the real world, man, there would be some people out there that would probably be clapping. People that were probably like, oh, thank God. All right, I thought I was the only fucking one. And so it's good. She takes a stand. They're going to fuck her over it. Because telling the truth does not mean that that good things happen to you. People always claim they want the truth, right? I mean, like I love that the X-Files, line, the truth is out there. We all want the truth. But what would you do if you really had the truth? Right? People are afraid of the truth. We say we want it, but really deep down we're terrified of it. And when these people get told the truth, they just stand there in stunned silence and, oh, boy, that's not what I want to hear. But the most fun part of this episode is when Billy and Mother's Milk are trapped in the hospital. They get the V, and they find out that soups are born in a lab. At least some soups are. I don't know if the originals were, but some are. And they get pinned down in the hospital, and this is where we get the baby with the laser beam eyes, which is hilarious that they mix a real baby in with like a CGI face, like a doll. And that was really funny. And it was diabolical! And it was awesome seeing them just get blown up. And it's like finally I had to wait like almost a whole episode for something truly cool to come out, because the rest of this episode is really, like I said, it's a hard tightrope I'm walking here, because I'm trying not to piss people off, but I gotta be honest. And so honestly, this was the most entertaining thing, was a baby using its laser beam eyes to blast people apart. And we get confirmation pretty much that Homelander is a mama's boy and he needs a mother, because she calls him out, tells him to come in. He's all tearing up like a little bitch. And she opens up her shirt and I'm going, oh, fuck me. What are we going to do? What's going on here? What are we about to do? Like, how much further down are we going to go? And she's got him on her lap and sucking her fingers while he kind of looks like she was going to let him suck her tit. And I was just like, holy shit, dude. But we end the episode with a kind of fight scene where Black Noir has tracked Frenchie down, and the female saves him, and they have a pretty kind of cool fight. It's brief, but he fucks her up pretty bad with his knives and leaves her for dead. And they even go in with the music thinking she's dead, but I'm like, she's not dead. She's like Wolverine. And again, yep, her eyes pop open because she's got like a healing factor. And that's how we end the episode. And so there was some, a couple of things here at the end that were pretty entertaining as far as superhero stuff kind of goes, like the plot of this actual show goes. In the middle with all the religious stuff, again, it's part of the story. It's trying to tell more of like how bad celebrity culture even infects religious groups. But man, I want to see like a straight up, like I want to see kind of like what the first two episodes did. And we're kind of getting into a lot of just really hard to talk about stuff that I'm not 100% comfortable talking about in a video like this. But apparently I talked about it for a long time, so maybe I'm not that uncomfortable. I'm just, I'm trying to be honest, but at the same time, it's like talking about religion and politics, right? It is like a no-win situation. You're going to piss somebody off. And so for those of you who didn't get pissed off at this and liked this review, please hit that like button. Comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. You can find me on Twitter at YESSHH8. It is Yish8. Also, we just put up the X-Men, the animated series, Dark Phoenix Saga Part 1. We did Perpetual Grace Episode 8. We're going to be back with Leftovers Season 1, Episode 5. Doctor Who Season 8, Episode 9. And once we get done with some of these shows, we're going to be moving on to other things. We're going to be reviewing Batman, the animated series. We've got a special show that I'm going to be reviewing pretty soon. I've got some ideas for other stuff. I'm thinking about doing Mindhunter, a review, either one review or a whole bunch of reviews for Mindhunter. But anyway, thanks everybody that watches these. Thanks for the support. I hope I didn't piss too many people off. I expect my 906 to probably go down to 899 after this review. But anyway, this is Rob at Smirking Gun Review saying have a great day, and we will see you next time.